everybody. This is Cabby Mom from Cabby Mom's Loves. It's actually Carol Ann from Cabby Mom's Loves, but I am actually in Ohio at the moment. I drove back to my home in West Virginia, which is literally just across the border, which is the Ohio River, from Ohio. Now, to clarify something, although the Ohio River is called the Ohio River, it is actually owned, the section of it that borders West Virginia is part of West Virginia. So if you're traveling on a boat on the Ohio River, you're actually traveling in West Virginia when you're going along the state. So anyway, I lived in West Virginia almost, not my entire life, but the biggest part of it for about 55 years to be exact. And with a few little short stays in Ohio when I went to nursing school, because I attended a school in Ohio. And when my first husband and I first got married, we moved from the Cleveland area to here. He lived in the Cleveland area. We moved to the town right across the river from the town where I grew up, but it was in Ohio. So we lived there for about a year, and then we bought a little home in West Virginia and lived in West Virginia the rest of our marriage. And I stayed there for, like I said, almost the rest of my life, 55 years. I am now 67. I have lived in Maryland for 12. We are currently going on a little drive to a state park called Beaver Creek State Park in Ohio. It's just a few miles out the road from my home, and this is one of my favorite things to do when I travel to West Virginia and stay for a few days. I like to get in my car, stop at Tim Hortons, which is just in the little town before you head out the road here into the country, get a cup of coffee, which I have right here, and take a drive to Beaver Creek State Park. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I wanted to video the drive because it's just a little quaint, beautiful country road drive. It gives you a bit of an idea what the countryside is like around here. It's hilly. It is not mountainous, but it is hilly, and I personally think it's beautiful. It's just full of trees and greenery, like little forests. You know, they're not called that exactly, but basically that's what they are. And you will see here and there, dotted along the roads, people's homes, of course, and sometimes other things. You never know. This is part of Appalachia, this part of the country. It is not economically vibrant. Let me put it that way. It is not, and never has been in my lifetime, anyway. Maybe back in earlier days of this country and this region's the history, there were potteries where lots of them, where china was made, dinnerware, and they ended up making it for motels and other restaurants and businesses, as well as residential, private people, the kind of dinnerware you would go to Macy's and buy. And they still, there are very few of the potteries left, very few. But the one that I am most familiar with is in a little town called Newell, Newell, West Virginia. Now that is the town I lived in most of my life. That's where I grew up as a child. The pottery was there then. Lots of the men in the town and some of the women worked there. Lots of history right there. And that pottery is still operating. That little pottery is the one, if you've ever heard of Fiesta ware, they make the Fiesta ware. It's theirs. It's their brand. They own the patent and everything else. And Fiesta ware is beautiful. It comes in many, many different colors. There are people who collect it. They have a sale every summer. I don't think they do it more than once a year. They might, but I do know they do it every summer and have forever, where they sell their Fiesta ware seconds. people come from all over the country to buy that Fiesta ware, which is made by that little pottery that's still surviving in a teeny little town of about 1,500 people in Newell, West Virginia. I am proud of that. I'm very proud of that. And the family that has owned it all these years, I believe, still owns it. There's a young woman getting a little older now because she's about 2 years older than me. I believe she graduated with my sister's class. And I'm the youngest of 5. And so they would have graduated from high school in about 1973. That gives you an idea. She is still living, and she still owns that pottery. Her family has owned it as long as I remember. I'm going to shut my windows. I think it's probably making wind noise that might be overpowering my voice. There we go. That might help a little bit. Anyway, so that pottery makes Fiesta ware. There were many, many, many potteries in this area in those days, which was probably the I'm going to guess. I really don't know. I'm guessing 1920s through now. But in the last 15 years, I'm going to tell you this. Since NAFTA, North American Fair Trade Agreement, was put into place, this community has seen their potteries go down and their steel mills. There were many steel mills in the area too, within easy driving distance of most of the residents here. They could make a decent, good living at those steel mills if they weren't college educated. Now, they're lucky to find a job, and they're lucky to find one that pays more than minimum wage. And in the state of West Virginia, minimum wage is like $11 an hour, maybe. The last I heard might be $9 an hour. I don't even know, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. I'm not sure what it is in Ohio. Currently, we are driving down the little road that takes us into Beaver Creek State Park, just so you're aware. So here's a sign. It does say Beaver Creek State Park. Yeah. And this is a wildlife center where you can go in and take a look at some. Actually, it's a little museum. It creeps me out a little bit because they have animals that they use taxidermy. Okay, so those things sit around and they're displayed very well. I have to say it's a very nice little place, but something about animals that they've done that with that just, I don't love it. Other people might love it. I just don't love it. So, I love animals. I can't stand seeing them like that. So they're dead. I'm sorry. Somebody killed it and then did that to it. It's like, what? No. But anyway, I digress, which is not uncommon for me. So sorry. Yes, this is Ohio, Beaver Creek State Park. I hope you enjoy this little tour. Uh-oh. I do hope I'm able to get by. Yay. All right, we will. Good job, buddy. Thank you. Thank you. I think they're trimming trees. I'm really not sure, but anyway. All right. So the community, the economy has really gone downhill since NAFTA. And I hate to put the blame on any one person. NAFTA was a big decision. I'm sure not one person made that decision in our government, but it did not do us any favors whatsoever. I do believe, and I'm going to get a little bit political here, I do believe in my heart that President Trump is trying to undo some of the damage that was done by decisions like that. And I'm sorry, if you live in an area where there was no damage, God bless you, honestly. But this area was hit hard, and it's not the only one. So, for people like us someone who's fighting for us. Maybe you think he's not. I think he might be. I hope so. Time will tell. But, yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that. I would love to see our area thrive again. I really, 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 really would. In the meantime, I have a son who lives in this area. He lives in my home in Chester. He works a little factory job. He makes $15 an hour. Now, let me tell you, even here, where the cost of living is much less than it is in urban areas, but even here, $15 an hour is not enough to pay your bills. It's not enough to pay for rent, utilities, a car payment, car insurance, internet, which I'm sorry, but everyone needs now, your cell phone bill, all of that. No. So, yep, I'm still helping him. He's 37 years old. This is the best he's ever done. I could cry saying that. He did move to Maryland when I did for a little while, but he did not like it at all. He couldn't. He could hardly stand it. He had a job where he's making a little better money. Not great, but better. Definitely better. But even then, over there, that was not enough to survive. Not at all. So, he came back. And I bought the house that he lives in. Not really planning on him living there as its permanent resident. I wasn't really planning on it either. It was going to be more or less my vacation home for when I came back here, someplace for me to stay that was mine and not somebody else's. And it is that. It definitely is that. But there's been a lot of changes since I bought it that didn't really help me or him financially. So it's still in the same state, only worse now than it was. It needs repairs that neither one of us can honestly afford. But that's another story. It all relates to the economy in this area. And it can be almost devastating to people who are trying to make a living seriously and just can't make it. They're working every day. They're working overtime. They're doing whatever they can to survive. And that's about all they're doing is surviving. So, yeah, he's one of many. This is some of the... I just love this park. I'm going to go slow through here. I don't know if you've got a view. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go around this circle. It's a little, more or less a cul-de-sac, but there's no house. It's just park. Let me see what we can capture. There's so much greenery growing up, you can't really see the water, but that's the creek, as we call it, Beaver Creek, C-R-E-E-K. Yeah, and it's sparkling, and the sun is shining, and it's beautiful. There are little benches to sit on. There are picnic tables. Yep. This is one side. I'm going to go over and go around, back across the little bridge, and go over to the other side and drive back through it. Here's a little bridge over a teeny outlet into the creek. Cool tree. I love that tree. Bathrooms to my left, swing set up here, more picnic tables. Yeah, just beautiful. Can you tell I really like it here? I spent many, many days coming to this park and talking and praying. Here's another cool tree. Oh my, yes. Cool big old tree. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I would come out here when life was throwing darts at me. And there were times when it felt like it was coming from every direction. I was just being pelted. And I would bring my Bible and I would sit under one of these trees, probably on a picnic table bench near the water, and I would sit there and listen to that creek water gurgling, bubbling. It was beautiful. It was peaceful. And it let me know that my God was still with me. And even though it felt like everything was out of control, I knew He actually had it all quite under His control. Now, here's the bridge we cross. It is not a wooden covered bridge, but I think it's quite adorable anyway. It used to be painted like a rusty orange color, but they've recently changed that. I kind of like their change. Very nice. If no one comes, I'm going to take this camera out of here and let you see. There you go. There's the creek in one direction. Come over here, and there's the creek the other direction. All right, I'll put you back. Thank the Lord that, there we go. Sorry for the cockeyed. My little camera holder, it's lost its ability to stay in one position. It's like the camera phone is too heavy, and it droops, but it seems to be doing an okay job of capturing most of what I wanted to. We're going around and back this. This is a circle, little drive, and it runs along the creek almost, well, more than half the way. The creek is to our right. Don't know if you can really see it over there very well at this moment. You may not get to unless I hold the camera a certain way, but it's over there, trust me. And once again, beautiful trees, picnic tables, grass. This is a great place. My family and I used to come out when my sisters and brothers had children who were young. I'm the youngest, and I didn't have my first baby till I was 27. They all started having children, honestly, almost in their teenage years. Seriously. That's the truth. They got married very, very young and started having children then. And they all but one stayed married to their original partners. They are still living, except for, let's see, well, they're not all still living. I take that back. My sister's husband passed from cancer 3 years ago. My brother, my oldest brother, died in a work accident about 25 years ago. Yep. Otherwise, my other brother, my two sisters, my other brother's wife, and my one sister's husband are all still living. But we all used to come out here as a big family and have picnics. That was in my young years before I had grown up and gotten married and did have children. By the time I had children, everybody else's kids were pretty much grown, and the family had gotten so big, and you know, older children and young adults start having their own lives. It just got much more difficult for us to get together all the time. People had work schedules, school schedules, you name it, and it just wasn't easy. So we that just dwindled off. But my whole life, even then, when I had kids, I brought them out here, of course. And before I had kids, I came by myself. Yep. Or with my husband when we were married, without children, that sort of thing. We would picnic or just take a drive, stop, get out, and mess around. This person doesn't know there's a car coming. She's got headphones on, and that's okay, but it can be a little tricky. There's a little body of water. I don't know what to call it, a pond. It's not quite big enough to call it a lake. You can't see it because of the hillside. Geese. Yeah, geese. Go on over there, geesies. Goosies. Thank you. I think they're geese. Some type of geese. I'm not a wildlife expert. I know a little teeny bit, but not a lot. Yeah. So the little pond is to my right and up over the hillside. Yeah. I think that's enough of Beaver Creek State Park. Whoops, I gotta stop. Look to see if there's anyone coming across the bridge. There is not. It's a great walking park. Great. It has all of these little drives, you know, the roadway that goes through it. Oh, look. There's the covered bridge. There's a covered bridge. There's an old mill that still works. It grinds flour. And there's a little church and a little school building, a bell. It's just a teeny weeny little old village that you can walk through, and you can, when it's open, and I'm not sure the hours for being able to walk through those buildings, but you can just take your time. There's no tour guide or anything like that. It's very small, but quaint. Very nice little spot. Okay, so I'm coming up to the lane closure up here again. We're leaving the park. And when we do, I'm going to shut this video off and continue my drive. I'm going to go to another place that I didn't visit as often because it's much farther away. It's about 30 miles out the road. I just feel like driving today, so I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm going to stop talking here and pay attention. This is tight. Yikes. Yep. Thank you. All right. So, that was Beaver Creek State Park near East Liverpool, Ohio, kind of in between East Liverpool and Lisbon, Ohio. If you ever are in this area, let's see, Lisbon is about 30 miles, maybe a little more, southeast, I believe, of Youngstown, Ohio. What else? How else can I describe it? Comparing it to a city or town you're familiar with. I don't know. Youngstown is the closest. Akron, Canton is west, almost directly west of Lisbon. Maybe an hour. Yeah, about an hour west of Lisbon. So, yeah, that's kind of where we are. All right, and I'm going to show you one more place that has meaning to me. It is an assisted living facility. It's where my mother stayed for about 2 years at the end of her life. Very nice place out in the country in a beautiful setting. Did she love it there? No, she wanted to be in her own home. My mother was a housekeeper. I mean it. That was her profession, and she was great at it. She had a lovely home, and it was her pride and joy. And believing it, after my dad died, it wasn't immediate. It was about 5 years after my dad died, maybe a little longer. It was really hard for her. So we tried to find a place that was very nice. It's right here. You can't really see it well because of the hillside, but it's right up there. Yep. And it is called Crossroads. Yep. And I'm going to stop now. I'll be back.